Okay, we are going to do a very big exercise today. Probably this is the biggest exercise in my class so far. Okay, so we are going to load a cancer dataset and it is built into scikit-learn, and we want to select two features only because we want to visualize the decision boundary in a 2D plot. So we are only using two features as the x and the y axis. Okay, so we want to visualize the dataset with those two features we select, and then we want to try two different linear SVC model with a very small c, which is zero point 0.1, and a very large c, 100. And we want to reuse the function we defined earlier upside and to visualize the decision boundaries and also highlight the support vectors. Okay, so the very first step, we want to load the data. And after we load the data, and there is a lot of the informations. So feel free to run this cell and it will give you a bunch of information about this dataset. So what is this dataset? Actually, this dataset is a dictionary. And in this dictionary, we have a lot of the keys. So if we want to do a cancer and then with the key as the data, and then we get the data set. And for the target column, and we have another key called target, and then we have the description, we have the feature names, we have the target names. So we are going to use those information to rebuild a data frame. So why do I have to do that? So first, if you want to try the feature names, and then you really got a lot of features. Okay, so that's a lot. And what we are going to do is we are going to build a panda data frame and then using the cancer data as a data set. So the data set, so cancer with the key as a data, if I remember correctly, that is a nested list. This is not a data frame. The first step we want to do is we want to rebuild a data frame, and then I'm going to use the columns as the cancer feature names. So I just put everything back into a data frame. Okay, and the next part is the target. The target is not part of the dataset yet, so the next thing is I want to also just use that as the target as the target column we are going to do. And the next thing I'm going to try to do is I want to select the two best features to do a 2D plot. And you may ask, how do I do that? And there's a cool thing called RFE, and that is for recursive feature elimination. Okay, so we are going to try to recursively eliminate the unimportant or the bad features using a machine learning model, and eventually we want to specify how many features we want to leave. Okay, so I created a logistic regression model, and then I use the RFE, and then I specify I want to leave 4 features at the end. So I'm going to use the RFE to train the data using the dataset, and eventually I want to do I'm printing the support, I'm printing the ranking, and then I also want to do the RFE support, and then okay, that should be 4. So showing the 4 features we have left at the very end. So, and as you can see, and there should be 4 truths in this case. So I see a true here, a true here, and 2 truths here. And those are the 4 truths corresponding to all the features. And if we want to know what are the top features, and those are the top 4 features I have found in the dataset, and they are the top 4 important features in this dataset. Okay, so and I decided that I want to use the worst radius and the worst concavity. And if I want to only select the 2 columns, and you will see the scales of those 2 columns, they are very different to each other. So, and then you want to continue from here, and you want to use only those 2 features, and you definitely want to create the standard scalar, And well, the first thing I did was I tried to put those two features and the target column together and put that into a new data frame. And after that, how do we get the worst radius value for the record with the target equals 0? So I want to select only the rows with the target equals 0, and then I only for those samples I only want to keep the worst radius. So how do you do that? And my hint is, remember, in the data science 501 and 502 we talk about a concept called mask, and that is a theory of 0 or 1, or a series of true and false. Okay, so and after that, eventually we want to do this kind of plot first. So I'm using the worst radius and worst concavity as the x and y axis, and I'm just using the original scale of those two features for now, and I'm plotting a scatter plot, or two scatter plots overlap on each other. Okay, so the next thing, I want to train a pipeline of the SVM model and with the C very high. And after that, remember, we have to convert the scale back to the original scales of the x and y axis, and we want to do a plot like this. And the next part, you want to try another SVM with a different C value and then try to plot that again. So what you should be able to find is, well, for this one, well, since we are using a very small c, so we have a wider margin, and the next one we use a very large c, so we have a narrow margin. Okay, so go ahead and try to code those two parts, and I will go through my solutions in the next video. Okay.